Hi everyone and welcome to week 5. I hope you had a great first session with your student and are looking forward to another great week working with a student this week on early literacy skills, which is the umbrella term I'm using for things like print awareness and concepts of print, alphabet recognition, oral speaking skills, and phonological awareness. So just a heads up on upcoming assignments for the week. You have two different things to read. First is chapter 7 of Lipson and Wixon, and these are the corresponding pages for the edition you are using. And then second, to read the core multiple measures of assessment, pages 19 through 33, which will walk you through some of those phonological awareness assessments you will be required to give this week. Participation activity, there is none, hooray, but there will be one next week. The assignments that are due this week by September 28th at midnight, there are two. The first is your WAPR number 2A, and then your first official practicum video. Last week you did a sample video to get yourself 10 participation points, but also familiarize yourself with the technology. Hopefully that went well and wasn't too painful for you. This week you are actually submitting the first practicum video. Again, disclaimer about late assignments. Both of these you can submit up to a week late, but it will result in a reduced grade. After a week late, it will not be scored. All right, this week you are doing your second session with your student. Again, the focus is on early literacy. So as you can see on our session guide, these are the required assessments. There are 3. The first 2 are structured and they are the core phoneme deletion test, which comes from your core book. The second is the core phonological awareness assessment. So that as well. I also, in an upcoming screencast, will have a sample video of administering that assessment. And then the last assessment is informal, and it is an assessment of your choosing. There is a video due from this session, and for the video you will have to select one of the required assessments and videotape yourself start to finish administering the assessment. So I do need to see the whole assessment being given for just one of those 3 required assessments. So you don't need to video the whole session, just select one of the assessments for me to watch. Then for your additional assessment, again, you can give any assessment on the following areas. Phonological awareness, there are many options for that. Any oral language checklist, here are some options for that. Concepts about print, you could give something for that. And then alphabet recognition also falls under this umbrella of early literacy. However, next week you're giving the core phonics survey, and that already includes alphabet recognition. So please don't spend your time on that. Instead, do something maybe for oral language or concepts about print. Session 3 will be focused on decoding and word recognition. So again, you'll have 3 required assessments. One is the core phonics survey, one is Fry's instant word list, and then the next one is an assessment of your choosing, and there will be a video from this session as well that is required. The only reminder I have for you is to work on your evaluating assessment group presentation. Not necessarily the presentation, but communicating with your teammates, collaborating with them on what assessment you're going to give that is unique to your student session. So that way when you report out to our class, you're not all sharing results and an evaluation of the same assessment. So we want to see new and different assessments than the ones being expected for the course that you are reporting out on. So if you are in the early literacy group, this is probably your only shot to give an early literacy assessment because your next student will likely be older and it might not be appropriate to give one of those early literacy assessments. So it's very important that you three talk now and determine who's giving what assessment so you can start planning that presentation. All right, a heads up for week 6, there is a lot going on. You are reading just a little bit of Lipson and Wixon, chapters 8 and 9, and these are the page numbers for the 4th edition. I'll get you the 5th edition page numbers next week. But basically from here on out, we have a focus for each week. So next week's focus is decoding and word recognition. So within chapter 8, you're reading the pages that correspond to that domain, word recognition, and then within chapter 9, you're reading about assessments that fall within that domain. So you can see both the structured formative assessments as well as the classroom-based assessments. You also have 2 articles to read. One is on Fry's instant word list, which will be helpful for giving that assessment, and the second one is on miscue analysis. You do have some reading from the core, which covers the core phonics survey that you'll be giving next week. You're doing your 3rd practicum session focused on word recognition and decoding. Your WAPR number 3 is due. Your 2nd practicum video is due, and then you also have some homework in the way of a participation activity where you're doing a sample running record and miscue analysis. So week 6 might be one of our busiest weeks, but you can do it. Just want to give you a heads up for that. Good luck this week working with your student. I will be back shortly to start discussing our content.